Hey, what's good? What's good, my good people? Hey, man, welcome to Work Hard to Start TV today. Man, I got somebody special in the building, man. You know what I'm saying? I know this guy personally, man. I'm gonna let you do the honors, bro, and introduce yourself, man.
That's your boy Taz Loke in the building, coming from California. I salute my boy Mossberg for letting me come on here and speak my mind, tell my story. And shout out to everybody out there that's watching and listening. Appreciate the support.
Already, man. Hey, we appreciate it. We appreciate it, man. Like I say, once again, man, you know, hey, welcome to Work Hard to Start TV, man. You know what I'm saying? All right, bro. So shit, man. Let's jump right into it, man. You know what I'm saying? Tell the people, man, that's tuned in to Work Hard to Start TV, man. Let them know, man, where you born and raised, bro.
So I was born and raised in Washington State up until I was 24 years old. Mom, dad, brothers, sisters, two brothers, two sisters. Grew up in a very good environment, good neighborhood, good people. But when I was 5 years old, things kind of took a turn. My pops passed away of lung cancer, and he didn't want to die in the hospital. He wanted to die at home. But of course, being 5 years old, I didn't comprehend any of that. So he
Yeah,
died, and he died in front of me, and the rest of my family and friends and all that. It was very confusing as a child because I didn't comprehend what death was. So my pops, he worked in the bakery field. So he
oh,
worked at
okay.
this big warehouse in downtown Seattle, and they would send him on trips. So I was kind of used to him being gone a lot, but when he was around, he was a phenomenal father. The only issue that my mom really had is the fact that he wouldn't allow anybody to say no to me. He was a
Yeah,
yes man,
yeah.
and so when he passed away, that
Spoiled
raised a lot of
James, huh?
yeah, yeah. I got everything I wanted, bro. You know what I'm saying? Looked like a little rich baby.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But it raised a lot of uh, anger and confusion and animosity even. Um, because my mom was a no person.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So she said no to me a lot. So I started becoming very verbally abusive and physically. Meanwhile, I had two brothers and two sisters at the house. One of my sisters actually wasn't around for very long because there was some jealousy issues
Yeah.
between parents because my mom was previously married, so she had my two brothers and two sisters. My
Uh-huh.
dad was previously married and had three sons, so I'm the only
Yeah.
child between my mom and dad.
Yeah.
But as you know, with step parents, kids tend to act out and
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
get destructive,
It's
and
yeah, it's gonna always be that, man. Sometimes, everybody gets along, but then it's those families to where, you know, hey, the kids might not like the other parent or the kids might not like each other. You know what I'm saying? Sibling rivalries, all that
Mhm.
shit go on, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But so how was it like, man? Tell the people, man, how was it like in your household, bro, with 5 kids and a single mom after your dad passed? How did that affect the rest of y'all in the household?
From my understanding, for what I could comprehend at that age, everybody got along pretty well, but everyone was worried about my mom and the financial aspect of things because, my brothers and sisters were older. So a lot
Yeah.
of them were, when I was 5 years old, they were like in eighth grade, ninth grade. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So,
okay. Okay. Yeah,
they're
so they
trying to figure out,
understood.
well, so they comprehended everything.
Yeah.
I always felt kind of like maybe, and I could be wrong, I can't speak for them, but I always felt like maybe they were kind of grateful in a way that he wasn't around anymore because they got their mom back fully, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I know my sister that moved away for sure was relieved that that happened. And then you know, I actually just found this out recently that sister that got sent away was mad that I was even born.
Wow.
Because, I was born with the cleft lip and all that, so I had to undergo a lot of surgeries, and I was in and out the hospital with ear infections and all that. So my mom had to, focus on me more than them, and she had an
Yeah.
issue with that. She felt like she wasn't getting the attention that she needed from mom.
Yeah.
So there was that. But other than that, like, I mean, there was definitely sadness and pain in the household after what happened. But
Did you see Did you see any type of change in your mom? Like being that young, you know what I'm saying? Did you see any changes in your mom from what you can remember?
I just I could tell that she struggled with a lot of things at home as far as like yard work, cooking, this and that. She would get sidetracked and a little sad and depressed because she was so used to doing that with her partner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it brought back memories.
Yeah.
Anything from pulling spaghetti out the jar to go planting a flower in the garden.
Yeah.
Those small things were huge to her because those were memories she had with him, you
Yeah.
know?
Right.
So you could tell it definitely affected my mom in a bad way, you know?
How how long were they married?
Let's see. So I want to say maybe like 8 or 9 years.
8 or 9 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And had
So
they
not
been
too
together?
long.
How long were they together, like, total? Is that, with marriage and before marriage?
Honestly, I don't know only because I was so young, so I don't know when they met, obviously, because I wasn't born yet. But I never asked my mom
Okay, that
because
was my next
I've always
question.
had a hard time.
Yeah. So, have you ever sat down with your mom and talked about your dad? Like, asked her, like, things that you might not remember or things that you wanted to know about your dad?
I have, but I didn't ask her that question you just asked me. It was more of what kind of man was he,
Yeah.
before I was born? Do I get some of the traits that I have that aren't good from him? Or where do I
Yeah.
get that from? Trying to figure myself out as a man,
Yeah.
you know, has
Yeah.
been really hard. So asking those questions has really helped me figure out who I am as a man,
Yeah.
and why I am the way I am and why I do certain things so
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
man.
You know what I'm saying? Well, hey man, over here at Work Hard to Start TV, man, we're gonna send our prayers, our condolences, all of that out, man, to you. You know what I'm saying? And just ask God to keep his hands on you and your family, bro. Because I do know how
Appreciate it.
tough it is, with losing somebody close to you, losing your pops as well. I lost my pops in 2021. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't
Mhm.
young, you know what I'm saying? But it's still losing a parent, bro, it's still gonna affect you, you know what I'm saying, in some type of way. And
Yeah, it doesn't
and
matter
my
how old you
pops,
are. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, and my pops died in front of me too. My pops died holding my hand. So, you know what I'm saying? I can definitely understand where you're coming from. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, well shit, man. Okay, man. We see what your childhood was like, man. You know what I mean? Anything that you can remember from that time that was joyful, you know what I'm saying? From that age, 5 years old, 6 years old, that you
Uh,
wish you could go back to right now?
I mean, if I could go back to the very last Christmas I had with my pops, man, I wish I could get that back. Because even though he was sick and in pain, basically dying, he found the energy to get up and have that last Christmas with me, bro. So that's
Yeah.
something I'm always gonna remember.
Yeah, I already. That's what's up, man.
So
All right, that's what's up. Excuse
yeah.
me, I salute that. All right, man. Well, let's push forward a little bit, man. So now, man, we're gonna get into your preteen years, bro. Your middle school era. So after losing your pops and you get to middle school, get to your, what I'm saying, your early years, did
Mhm.
anything affect you within those years to make you, let's see, act out, you know what I'm saying, or anything like that towards your mom, your siblings, or just amongst your peers, period?
So I'm gonna kind of rewind a little bit, like a year before middle school.
Okay.
To kind of leads up to that question. So, I like I said, I was born with the cleft lip and all that. So I was made fun of a lot, pushed around, bullied, and all that. And then,
Hmm.
it came a point where I was getting picked on so much that these three other kids that were a grade higher than me got tired of seeing it, and they picked me up off the ground after a kid had just thrown a rock at my face and busted my lip open and
Yeah.
told me I need to learn how to fight and protect myself. You know, and then, as you know, as a kid, you do sleepovers and all that at the homies' houses or whatever, kicking with the families and all that.
Hmm.
But one kid particular, and may he rest in peace, by the way, one kid particular, when I went to his house, I noticed something kind of different. His brother had a bald head, tattoos all over his body. His pops kind of reminded me of the brother, kind of had like as we would say today, a gangster mentality, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I was trying to be funny, and so I had asked the older brother, "Hey, why do you draw on yourself?"
Yeah.
And that's when he said, "Hey, little homie, this is not a drawing; it's a tattoo." And that's where I learned about tattoos.
Yeah. And what
And
and
then
what what
my
what race was these guys?
they're Asian.
Asian? Okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So it got to the point where my boy was like, if you want us to protect you, you gotta join our gang. Let alone I didn't I didn't know what a gang was. I didn't know anything about, colors and sides you had to wear things on. I had no knowledge. I'm still at the point of, at 12 years old, still thinking about my pops passing away. You
Yeah.
know, I'm still messed up by that. And
So
so
you was green. That's what they
just to
say
kind of
today.
move,
Today they say green. So you was
yeah, yeah,
green to the gang culture and the
yeah.
colors and all of that.
Yeah, yeah. Because like I said, I grew up in a very high class neighborhood, good school. None of that was going on in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
It was happening at school, but I wasn't there yet. It wasn't happening in elementary school.
Yeah.
So my boy pretty much told me I had to get put on basically in
Okay.
order for them to continue to protect me. I was confused. I still was not comprehending any of this at that age.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to figure out why you're my friend. Why do I have to get beat up to be your friend?
Yeah.
Why do I have to
Yeah.
get beat up for you to protect me? But as we know today, that's that culture, you know?
Right. Right.
So it came to a point where they took me into the garage. My boy pushed me into the middle of the room. And I ain't gonna lie, bro. I was scared out of my mind. I thought I was gonna die. I thought these people were gonna kill me or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm
Oh
looking
yeah.
around the room and you got all these people with tattoos and guns hanging out their waistbands and flags hanging out their pockets. And I'm just, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
So I end up getting my ass beat. And afterwards, they congratulate me and they tell me,
But did you well
the
did you
next
fight
step
back?
is you got to.
Did, did you fight back though?
Oh, I fought back the best I could, but I got my ass beat though.
Yeah.
My punches back then was like a fly hitting your face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, because I didn't know how to fight yet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
I'm sitting here just doing this and just punching as hard as I could and, getting into it. I made it through it. And they told me, all right, welcome to the set. And, they handed me my flag and all that. And they said, all right, now you know how to wear this, right? We're going to test you right now. Okay. It goes on the left side. The hat goes to the left. And back then in Washington State, the pant leg thing was kind of a thing where you roll your pant leg up. You
Bro,
know what
your
I'm
pants
saying?
leg up. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
that.
So they had
So
me
this
doing
was
that.
so this was in the 90s? In the 90s?
Yeah, yeah, 93.
Yeah.
93.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Yep,
Mhm. Okay,
1993, bro,
so
is when my whole life changed, bro.
okay, so would you be so can you speak on what set you got put down on? Is you know what I'm saying? You want to name the set you got put down on?
So I got put down on 34th Street Loc'd Out Crip, which is out of Tacoma, Washington.
Okay. Loc'd Out Crip out of Tacoma, Washington. And so man, I wanna ask you something, bro. Okay, so Crip set out of Tacoma, Washington. And you said these guys was Asian, right? Now,
Mhm,
us knowing Crips and Bloods is a black gang. So how does
mhm.
it so how did it feel or how did it come about a Asian Crip gang forming in Tacoma, Washington, and then allowing a white member to be jumped into a black gang that's now Asian? How did that come about and how did that feel? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, so basically the way it came about is kinda back to them 3 guys, saving me. They
Yeah.
felt like they needed to be my protectors, you know what I'm saying? And so
Right,
what
right, right.
conversations they had with their.
Yeah, as far as like the history of your set, like as far as like who was like, you know what, yeah, we Asians, but you know what, we want to bang to the left. We want to bang this crip shit. Did they give you that? Did they give you that knowledge on how the set was started?
So Loc'd Out Crip is basically got started by the Asian mafia. So there's Asian mafia members that were from a certain city, certain state. And we don't have the Asian mafia like that in Washington State. So it became Crip because they couldn't be the mafia out there because they don't do all that out there.
Yeah,
So they formed a Crip set which is affiliated with the Asian mafia. Now, a lot of people ask me this question. Well, if you're a white dude, part of an Asian gang, are you part of the Asian mafia too? No. I'm not
yeah,
I'm not I'm
and,
not a part of none of that.
and that was
I
gonna
was
be
only
my next
allowed to get
question.
certain see like this right here, this dragon. This is how we represent Crip. You know what I'm saying? We don't do actual Crip tattoos and
Yeah,
knocking out hoods and all that on our bodies. It's dragons. You know what I'm saying? That's how we represent. It has a meaning behind it.
yeah,
So I was allowed to get that. Now I was not allowed to go to certain meetings because it was a cultural thing.
just for
You
the
know?
Asian culture.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So now the
But
hardest
did
part
you
for me.
But did you feel left out though? Like, okay, man, they jumped me into this set, but I'm only allowed to get a certain tattoo and I'm only allowed to go to certain meetings. I can't go to all meetings. Did you feel left out in any kind of way behind it?
Well, that kinda leads me to what I was gonna say is this, bro, is like, I wouldn't say I felt left out just by my hood. I felt out of place in general
Yeah,
because as I started to learn the knowledge that, blooding and cripping was a black thing, not
yeah,
Asian, not Mexican, not white, it was a black thing. It actually kinda scared me a little bit because, like, well, now here I am dressed in a certain way, talking a certain way, spelling things a certain way, whacking out hoods on the walls and doing all this stuff. And you got these guys over here that are not from my hood, that are black, that are looking
mhm,
at the white dude like, "Who the fuck are you? And what are you doing banging this shit?" You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I felt in fear for my life, to be real with you. This shit scared the shit out of me, bro, in the beginning. But then
Did you have any
time started to
run-ins,
kind of,
man, with any did you have any run-ins with any other Crip gang members, like black gang members from the Crip sets?
I did.
Just because you was
Yep. And I
you
was
was a
just,
white guy banging Crip?
yep. And as a matter of fact, me and my boy from Washington State were just talking about this morning. I had a situation where they caught me slipping at the bus station by myself and chased me down and beat the shit out of me. Not just because I was a white dude banging Crip. It's just the fact that they looked at it like I had no knowledge of any Crippin'
Yeah,
and that I had no right to throw up a C or wear a blue flag in my left pocket, that I didn't earn it the right way, you know. And these people are still my enemy to this day
yeah.
for other
It's
reasons,
definitely it's
but
definitely it's definitely looked down upon, man, with, certain shit when it comes to the gang politics, man, because you was in Washington State banging, but you live in California now, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm pretty sure you see the difference between politics from California to Washington, you know what I'm saying? Just like, I'm
mhm.
in Texas, and, the politics out here in Texas is not the same as it is in California. So it's a
Yeah,
lot of California cats that claim they don't respect Texas gang members or any other state gang members on top of that, because man, y'all didn't get put down right or y'all can't, you know what I'm saying? But me personally, I look at it
mhm.
like this, bro. You had cats that came from everywhere. You know what I'm saying? That came to Texas, that went to Kansas City, went to Arkansas, went all over the world, bro. And they took that gang banging shit with them, you know what I'm saying, per the drug trade, you know what I'm saying? And they put other cats on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They put other cats on. And so them cats from them areas, they started putting on they little homies, you know what I'm saying? And that shit just spread like wildfire. You know what I'm saying? But me personally, I feel like you shouldn't bang a street that you never walked on. You know what I'm saying? I feel
Yep,
like
yep.
if you not from that section, you shouldn't bang that section. I feel like you should bang your own section, your own hood, your own streets, you know what I'm saying, your own blocks. You know what I'm saying? Get permission, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, to start your own shit, banging your own shit. Cause why would I want to bang, you know what I'm saying, Rolling 60s or Hoover? And I ain't from them sections, I ain't walked on them sections, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah,
speak
yeah.
just speaking in general. So, we know how those politics, you know what I'm saying, play a part. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. And that kind of brings me to, middle school. When I hit middle school is when I started really kicking it outside of my neighborhood and made myself kind of known in Tacoma amongst these people.
Yeah,
So that kind of goes to what you just said. Now I'm walking the block that I represent, and I've earned a right to walk that block because I put in work. Because, like I
yeah,
said, I went to juvie the first time when I was 12. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So that was my first, basically part of my initiation. I had to do some things. I did those
yeah,
things. And they told me, if you get caught, that's where the real test is. Are you going to snitch? And if you go to jail, are you going to fight? Are you going to represent for us? If someone says, fuck our hood or says specific words that you and I don't use in our vocabulary,
right,
are you gonna take off on them? What are you gonna do? That is gonna be the test now. You got put on. Now let's see what you can do.
right.
So when I went to juvie,
Got to represent that shit to the
I
fullest.
really
You know what
got
I'm
tested
saying?
up in there.
You gonna stand or you gonna
I really
fold?
got tested in juvie the first time. Yep,
Yeah,
yep. And that's where I put the fighting skills that I learned to the test. I had a couple fades in there, I lost most of them, but I still got respect because I wasn't a bitch. So I didn't back down from anybody. You know what I'm
hey
saying?
man, I'm gonna tell you like
And
this, bro. Hey man, I appreciate the fact that you keeping it 100, bro, on the squabble, bro. Cause a lot of motherfuckers will get up on this bitch, man, and be like, yeah, man, shit, I squabbed that, man, shit, I won all the fights, man, I beat niggas' ass, I did. A lot of motherfuckers ain't gonna come up here, bro, and own up to the L's. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Hey, man,
Yeah.
salute you on that, bro, for owning up to the L's. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk.
I appreciate it. Well, a lot of people got to understand, man, like sometimes the L isn't really an L. Sometimes it's a win still because
It's
you still got
Hey, I
back up on
consider
your feet and
L's
fought.
I consider L's a lesson learned, bro, not a loss. I consider that shit as a lesson learned, you know what I'm saying? Shit, just gonna hey, if you kick
Yeah,
my
yeah,
ass,
yeah.
that's just gonna make me go back and work hard to come back and you're gonna have to fight me again. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna keep fighting you till I win. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, for
So I
sure. But
mean,
yeah,
yeah. So juvie the first time was rough, bro. Especially being a white crip. It was very frowned upon in juvie. You had the older cats. There was like 16, 17. They've been someone were born into the hood, so that's all they know.
right,
So
right.
at that point, obviously, since I'm still fresh to everything, still learning everything. It ain't fresh to them. They've been knowing for 6, 7 years.
Yeah,
They've been doing this. So therefore, I'm going in there and they're looking at me like, "What the fuck did you just say, cuz?
yeah,
Did I hear cuz come out your mouth? Man, you
yeah,
ain't no crip, white boy. Da 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 da. If you a crip, prove it. Get on
yeah,
the phone and get your big homie on the phone." And I'm gonna have my big homie contact your big homie, see if they know each other, and confirm that you really crippin'.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That's how it was, bro. And that's how it is in the penitentiary. It's how it is everywhere you go when you get locked up. Even in the streets, you're gonna get
yeah.
checked.
Oh yeah.
So if you false flagging, they're gonna find out real quick, and there's gonna
Facts.
be consequences. It could be deadly, you
Facts.
know. But kind of to move forward into the middle school years, I did a lot of fighting in middle school. And again, I probably lost more fights than I won in my life, but I was never afraid to,
But you
to
still got
fight, you
active.
know what
You
I'm
still
saying?
got out there.
And
Yeah. You still got out there and got active.
I still show people that I'm not afraid to get active. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I made it through middle school with a couple suspensions, and went to juvie a couple times, and then came high school. Can we,
Yeah. Just we're gonna get there in a minute, but I just want to touch some more on, on your little preteen years, man.
okay, okay.
How much time did you do in juvie the first time you went at 12? How much time did you do?
Well, the first time, because it was my first charge, I only did a couple weeks, and then
Hmm.
I got out, and then I had to go to court and all that, and then I got sentenced to
Yeah.
probation, some fines, community service, stuff like that. Then I went a couple more times after that, and it kind of became a pattern of I go in for a couple weeks, they give me a slap on the wrist, give me a slap on the wrist, third slap on the wrist. After that third one, game over.
Yeah.
I finally got some time, because that's kind of I was 14, or no, sorry, 13, and I had threatened to do a drive-by. Me and my homies were talking, and this other person that was not involved in the conversation overheard it and went and told somebody else, and that person called the police.
Yeah.
And so I got arrested, went to juvie, and I did 6 months that time.
6 months. Okay.
So
Okay. So
yeah,
what was it like that 6 months while you was in there, since you had already established yourself from the first time you was in at 12 that you was really, you know what I'm saying, that you was really banging this crip shit. You know what I'm saying? How was the ride for you then?
it was 50-50 because again, you got juvenile hall, and then you got the the juvenile prison that you go to because you don't stay in juvie. You know what I'm saying? They
Mm-hmm.
send you to a juvenile prison. And so I got myself established in juvie, pretty
Mm-hmm.
cool, you know? But then when I hit the juvenile prison, it was like I was starting over again, going to juvie for the first time again, because now I have to establish myself in a new place, in a new environment, around new people. And so at that point, though, it wasn't half as bad as the first time I went to juvie.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some questions raised, so in juvie, you got a cottage, right? Or not juvie, the juvenile prison, you got a cottage,
Mm-hmm.
and you got the day room, the kitchen area, then you got the cells on the other end of on both sides. And you go down the stairs and they got a big ass yard. So it's like a basketball court and all that. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
at the bottom playing basketball, and this dude at the top of the stairs was on some fugazi ass shit. He's a blood dude. Say, hey, you, whoop de whoop de whoop.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm about. You know what those
Yeah.
words
Yeah.
are.
I
Put
already
the
know.
ball down. Okay, it's time to get active now. Okay, cool. So I go up the stairs, we squabble. The staff comes and gets us. They take me to the hole, which they call the quiet room in the juvenile system.
Yeah.
So I'm in the quiet room thing, and they're telling me we're moving you to maximum security. So in maximum security, you can't wear your own clothes, nothing. You have to wear the orange jumpsuit. So I go there, they send him somewhere else, and I get up in there. Well,
Uh-huh.
it went around that me and him had an issue, and some of his people were in that unit that I got sent to. So upon me coming in there, I got jumped and I got put in the infirmary.
Mm,
And I'm sitting in the infirmary, just like, I didn't get a chance to see if any of my people were in there, nothing. The minute I hit that door, they came at me, bro, and put
yeah,
me in the infirmary.
yeah.
And I'm just thinking, man, what am I gonna do up here, man? I gotta strategize because are they gonna put me back in that place where I'm gonna have this issue with these people? Or are they gonna move me somewhere else now?
So
Well, they
so
put me
at that
back in
point,
that unit.
was you fearful of your life at that point after you got jumped and you in the infirmary?
I wouldn't say I feared for my life. It was more of, okay, this is what I got into. I chose this certain lifestyle at this point, and these are the consequences.
Right.
And I had to ask myself, do I really want to live with these type of consequences where I'm going to get beat down by the enemies and maybe get killed, or am I going to survive? All these things were racing through my mind. But I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to get active as much as I can.
Yeah.
Someone come at me, I'm coming at them. Is their life or mine? You know what I'm saying? And yeah, there's a little bit of fear. You know what I'm saying? I'd be lying if I
Yeah.
said there wasn't. It doesn't matter. The hardest motherfucker in the world, bro, still has some kind of fear. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
It
Oh
don't
yeah,
matter how
man.
tough you think you are,
Yeah.
how big you are. None of
Yeah.
that. None of that shit matter, man. There's always
Yeah,
gonna
that
be a little
shit.
bit of fear when you get into
That
something.
shit don't matter, man. Everybody
Right.
been scared in their life, bro, over some shit. You know what I'm saying? And and a motherfucker that say
Yeah,
they
yeah.
ain't never been scared of shit lying through their motherfucking teeth. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, 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 yep. And then so what happened from there is, man, is like these people obviously saw that it was me or them, and we're just gonna keep going through it. So let's just get through our fucking time and stay away from each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we still kind of walk by each other and bump each other like we got a problem. Like put our what's up, bro? You got a problem? We can do it
Yeah.
right here, right now. And they do this like nah, nah.
Yeah.
We'll see you in the streets at some
Yeah.
point. You know what I'm saying? So had no problems with them anymore. Just a little shit talk here and there, you know.
Yeah.
But then there's always the next one,
Right.
and the next one, and the
Right.
next one. So
Cause man, when you
I
living
felt
that
like
life,
my time is that's
oh,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I felt like at that point, yes, me being white played a big factor. It wasn't even just the Crip shit, because there's a lot of racial shit going on back then too, you know.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
they didn't like the way I talked, they didn't like the colors I wore, they didn't like the clothes I wore, nothing. So it was just like, no matter what I did, I was a problem, you
It's
know.
probably is it
And so
safe
it
to
made
say,
me
man, that
feel
they probably
very.
thought that you was trying to be something that you wasn't? You think that's what it was?
I felt like they thought I was just a wannabe thug trying to thug it out, you
Yeah.
know? You know,
Yeah.
because a lot of them cats back then too, they was getting tatted up at 12, 13, 14 years old. And where I'm at, and I don't even got one tattoo. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So tattoos had a lot of, as they still do today, they have a lot of meaning behind what you
Yeah.
represent, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but there came a point towards I want to say like the last 2, 3 months of my time where people realized this white dude ain't backing down, man. Uh,
Right now, you
this
good.
white
You
boy ain't
good.
backing down, so he must be, somebody. Who is he?
Yeah.
People became more curious of who I was because of my activity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the way that I
Okay.
presented myself. And so I started to kind of gain a little bit of respect towards the end
Yeah.
by
So
certain individuals.
so with that being said, bro, so how did you get the name Taz Loc?
So I got that when I got out of juvie. And this one's kind of a funny story. I drank my first bottle of Hennessy, and I
Oh yeah, that hen, that
got a
hen.
little
Hey
got a
man,
little crazy,
let's
bro.
give it up one time for that hen, man. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
you already know, man. Yeah, yeah. So I did that for the first time, and I went a little spastic, bro. So I got the name from just going crazy when I drank for the first time, and also because I wasn't afraid to back down from anybody either.
Facts, facts.
So
Okay, okay. So, all right. So now, man. So now you done gain respect. You know what I'm saying? You got a little reputation. You know what I'm saying? Now you get out of juvie. So, at what age is it now that you got out of juvie from doing your time? The juvie prison, rather.
at that point, so at that time I was 16. I got out when I was 17.
Got out when you was 17. Okay. So
Uh-huh.
now that you 17 and you out, the first day you get out, what you do?
And I ain't gonna lie, bro. I went to Denny's, bro. I was craving some real food.
Yeah.
Went
Yeah.
to Denny's, and my brother came and picked me up, took me out to eat, And the first thing I did after that was hug my mom and apologize
Yeah.
for putting her through all the things I was putting her through. Because when you do time, you might feel sorry for yourself, but you're not the only one that's in pain. You're not
Right.
the only one doing the time.
Right.
So I had to make that apology first and foremost. And at that point, my brother and his sisters kind of started to kind of turn on me a little bit because I thought, well, we had high hopes for you to be in this and doing that, and you're educated and going to a good school, you live in a good neighborhood, and you're out doing this,
Yeah.
So things were kind of it was a roller coaster ride, you know what I mean? But
You remember
when I got out,
do you remember what you ate? You remember what you ate at Dennis, bro, when you got out?
man, I think I had, if I remember correctly, I think I had what's that thing called? Moon
Oh, that moon over Hammy?
over my hammy or something. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. There
moon
you
over
go. Yeah,
Hammy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that's
hell
what it
yeah.
was. Yeah,
Man, I used to eat that shit a lot back in
with
the
a
day
stack of
too, bro.
pancakes on the side.
Yeah, I used to eat that shit
Yeah,
a lot
man.
back in the
Yeah,
day,
yeah.
man, but, I go to Denny's now, I don't even fuck with it, bro. I gotta go with the T-bone and the eggs, bro, with the, you know what I'm saying? I gotta have that T-bone and eggs, but my wife, she love that moon over Hammy, bro. She get that shit damn near every time we go to Denny's, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Denny's
that's
Denny's is
pretty
still a
good,
good
man.
little spot
But
for me, man. You know what I'm saying? I used to, especially when I used to get high, man. I used to smoke weed, bro. I used to get high and go to Denny's and sit there and just eat a bunch of shit up, man. Because they had the cheap, back then they had the cheap All Star. You know what I'm saying? The little Grand Slams and all this shit, bro, for the cheap. You know what I'm saying? Shit, we get high and go up in
yeah,
there
I
and
mean,
eat up some
hey,
shit.
yeah, me and the homies, man, we used to, do a whole lot of carjacking back in the day, and we'd always stop at Denny's because they had, even if you buy a cup of coffee, you could sit there all night as long as you got refills.
Yeah,
And so we used to just kick it at Denny's for hours, man, just talking about the streets and the people we were around that we didn't want to mess with anymore, and females, and the next one we were gonna knock, and all that, man. It was fun though, man. I mean, even though we were doing bad, it was still fun.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
You
We
know?
shit, back then, man, we thought shit was fun, man. We didn't know no better, you know what I'm saying? Shit was fun too. We really didn't realize the type of shit we would have been facing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
By doing
yeah.
all the shit that we was doing and shit, you know what I mean? But okay, so now, man, I'm trying to speed it up a little bit, bro. So now, bro, you a teenager, bro. You in high school. You banging. You know what I'm saying? You jacking cars, all this shit. What's the next phase in your life? What happens next after all of that?
At that point, I tried to make a small change in my life and tried to do better. I started going to, church with my mom and all that on Sundays, and became good friends with some of the kids at the youth group and all that, and started hanging out with them. But I always found myself back in the hood because,
Yeah,
it's blood in, blood out, bro. You can't just walk away from that, bro. Once you in, those people aren't gonna walk out your life and just let you walk away from them. They're gonna come around and make sure that you're active in all the activities. You know what I mean?
yeah, because you
So
know too much. You know too much. You know what I'm saying? It might be a little
you
different
know too
now.
much.
Yeah, it might be a little different
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
man, to where, you can drop your flag, you can denounce your gang, all this shit. But back then in the 90s, bro, it was a whole lot
No,
different, bro. Yeah, it was a whole lot different.
no, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll
hey, the
get to
only way
that
you
part
gonna get
too, 'cause
out, only way you gonna get out this shit, man, is death. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. So, so I went to a regular high school for a while, and I came face to face with this guy that was always having my back. I didn't
Yeah,
even know it. We didn't even know each other, bro. But every time I get into something, he was always right there, just squabbling with everybody for me, bro. Like trying to protect me all the time, And I'm just like, hey, bro, and I appreciate what you're doing, but you got to stop doing that. I got to protect myself because you're making me look weak.
yeah,
You got to let me just face my battles. If I get killed or put in the hospital or whatever, that's something I got to go through.
yeah,
I appreciate the respect you have for me, bro, but I can't have you doing all that for me all the time. You know what I mean? So come to find out, he just moved to Washington State from Cali,
yeah,
and he was a Damu,
yeah,
a very active Damu at that. You know what I'm saying? Well, we became really tight. You know what I'm saying? That was like the only blood homie I had.
yeah,
And my hood didn't really have an issue with me hanging out with him. It was more of, the Hoovers and the 60s and all them that we had in Washington State. Oh,
yeah,
you supposed to be whoop de whoop, but you kicking it with a whoop de whoop. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Now you're not cripping right. Da 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 da. And so they go rat me out to my people. My people will sit me down and be like, look, we don't care who you fuck with because we don't have an issue with that hood because that hood's not here in Washington State. Now, if
Yeah,
that hood was here in Washington State and you were kicking with him, then it'd be a problem. But that's only
yeah.
one man. We can handle one man, and he's not causing any problems. In fact, we want to shake that man's hand for backing you up, being the opposite from the opposite hood, you know.
Hey
And
man,
this
that's
guy
gotta be
became,
something right there though, man. To be in the '90s and to be
yeah,
cool with a blood or a crip from the opposite, man. Cause in Texas, bro, that shit wasn't happening in the '90s like that, bro. Like, if you was a blood, you was a
yeah, yeah,
blood. If you
yeah,
was
yeah,
a crip, you was a crip. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no shit. You better not, man, you better not get caught fucking around with no motherfucking blood if you was a crip. You know what I'm saying? You better not get caught fucking with no crip if you was a
yeah, yeah,
blood.
yeah.
Cause shit, something bad gonna happen to your ass. You know what I'm saying? Cause it was places where you couldn't even, man, you better not show up over here with no motherfucking red on. You know what I'm saying? Or you better not show up over there with no motherfucking blue on. You know what I'm saying? So that's something definitely
Yeah.
different, you know what I'm saying, to be, in Washington, man, and being a crip and being able to hang around the blood at that time, you know what I'm saying, in the '90s.
Well, the thing is about the Loc'd Out Crips is they don't. You know how you got certain hoods that only fuck with their hood. They X everybody
Yeah,
else out. It's everybody
yeah,
killer type shit. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But then you got other hoods that are like, okay, I'm cool with this set of Crips. I'm cool with this set of Crips. My hood is different because the culture is different. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about a whole different race that built
yeah,
their own banging culture. You know what I'm saying? Built their own rules and everything. So with them, it was more of, don't set trip on them unless they set trip on you first. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? If they cool with you, you could be cool with them, but tread lightly. Don't make them their best friend. Don't show them where you live. Don't call them your best fucking friend at the end of the day. Don't trust them 100% because
yeah,
they're not us. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So our thing is like we don't go out looking for problems and starting problems. We don't just go around just Xing out hoods on the wall,
yeah.
creating problems. We solve
But at
problems.
that time,
We're
and banging, and you say around like what, this was like what, 93, 94, around that
so at this
time,
time that was around 96. 96,
96,
yeah.
around about 96. Okay. Well, banging is still a little hot in around 96. So you say that your gang, because they was Asian descent, you say that they started their own gang, they made their own rules, but you don't think that they still had to follow by some of the structure of the politics of Crip and Blood since they claiming Crip?
Oh, no,
Because I
no, they still follow that structure, you know what I'm saying? But aside from that, they still had their own rules, you know what I'm saying, within their
yeah,
culture.
yeah.
No, they still
Okay,
had to
okay.
follow, you don't just go like for instance, if I go whack out a hood on a wall, but we ain't got no beef with that hood, now that's gonna start a problem with our hood and their hood because
Right,
I just whacked out their hood, we ain't even got beef with them.
right.
That's against the rules. That'll get you killed by your own hood. They'll kill you for that. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah, 'cause that
And
started
back then,
unnecessary drama.
it because now you putting them in danger, so now you a problem, so they got to take you out. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And our take. So here's the thing that's different. Also, the Asians, yeah, they shooters, they cutters, they this and that, but their main thing is decapitation and losing limbs when you get a
yeah,
DP.
yeah,
So you can't see it on here, but in person, I got a scar right here because I dropped my flag on accident.
yeah,
And they had me come into the room to put the blade to my pinky, and they was about to cut my pinky off. But
yeah,
my homie said he didn't even know he dropped it. That ain't his fault. It's not like he purposely dropped it. It dropped by mistake.
yeah,
Yes, he still needs to be DP. But you don't need to lose a finger or nothing. You know what I'm saying? So why don't we
yeah,
just whoop his ass real quick and call it good? He saved my ass. The same guy that picked me up off the ground when I was 12
yeah,
saved my life then and saved my life that time too.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Well, not my life, but he saved my finger.
Tell
You know
your
what I mean?
finger,
But
yeah. That's love. That's love, though. That's love.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like they felt obligated because they picked me off the ground that day when I was 12 to not half-ass nothing. They
Yeah.
were going to protect me until we were both gone. You know what I'm saying? Now, unfortunately,
So
this
was
is the
he
part of the
somebody, that
story.
same guy, that you don't have to put his name out there or anything like that, but that same guy, would you say you looked up to him, bro? Like he was somebody you looked up to, considering that, your pops was already gone and they basically the ones that, looked out for you and then put you on the hood and shit like that. Would you say he was a person that you looked up to?
Definitely, definitely, to a point. And that kind of leads me to what I was about to say. Without saying too much, you're already aware of the situation. Remember the homie I told you that caught some charges and he got whacked out 5 days being in? That's the guy. So at that point, somebody that I looked
Uh,
up to for so long that was a real gangster, bro, turned into
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
So from that point on, bro, once I found that out, I was like, nope, yeah, he's definitely not a role model of mine no more. I can't even respect him no more. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right, right.
No,
So is it
the hood
anybody?
doesn't respect him.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, nobody respects him anymore anywhere, bro. Like if he was still alive walking this earth, knowing what we know now, he would have got knocked out that way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, um,
Yeah. So is it anybody? Is it anybody else that was around, man, that maybe you looked up to, bro? Somebody that was maybe doing something positive, that wasn't a part of gang banging or anything like that. Is it somebody that you looked up to outside your gang?
yeah, I had a couple people, bro, that I grew up with in my neighborhood. You know, just some preppy, normal kids, man, that were just doing good in life, man. They graduated high school. You know, they got jobs. They did everything I didn't do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they tried to pull me away from certain things, but I had to give them the understanding that you can't pull me away from it. If you try to pull me away from it, you're putting yourself in danger and myself. I can't
Yeah.
walk away from this. This is my life now. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't matter if I'm OG, triple OG, or quadruple OG, bro. There's still rules to the game, no matter what your status is. You
Right.
know, just because I'm an OG or something doesn't mean I can just say I'm not a Crip anymore. I can't say it was a mistake and I should have never joined the hood.
Right.
No, I don't believe in anything I did being a mistake because it made me who I am today.
Right. Yeah, man. That was
But I do
we gonna
have
get into
regret.
that.
I do have regrets.
That was my next question, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything that you went through that early, man. How did it shape you into the person that you are now?
Honestly, man, like it made me more alert and more wise and aware to what's going on around me because I learned a lot from that lifestyle
Uh-huh.
and what I've been around and the people that I've been around and older people that were from my hood that today have changed their life.
Right.
You know, they
Right.
moved out of the neighborhood. They got wives and kids, and they're doing great things with their own businesses and all that. You know, it just it. All I can say, bro, is it shaped me into who I am today, man. Like it was a learning
Thanks.
experience. You know, and yeah,
Okay. And
you
shit,
know, I
man,
mean,
let's see, we about 53 minutes in and some change, man. So a little bit, man, and man, we're gonna jump into since we was talking on the topic of, how you are today, we're gonna go back just a little bit. Did you did you do any prison time? Like, you know what I'm saying, adult prison time. No, you went to juvie, no, you went to, youth penitentiary. Did you go to the big house, as they call it?
yeah, I did when I was 18. I did 20 months, but I couldn't get an address, so I ended up doing 23 months. That was a whole different experience than juvie and all that. Because
Yeah,
now you're in the grown folks zone. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So
Yeah,
that
18,
that was
being
you
being
know
around a lot of grown men, you know what I'm saying? I know that shit different.
yeah, that experience was different. But you know what? Through the grace of God, I made it through it with only one physical altercation. I got to fight the gay Jamie Foxx, but
You say the gay Jamie Foxx, the gay Jamie Foxx. Man, explain to the people what you mean, bro, by the gay Jamie Foxx.
So I went into prison of the idea that the gays were the weak ones. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't really hip to prison time yet or anything. I only done juvenile time at that point and county time. But there was this dude in prison, man, looked just like Jamie Foxx. Same
Yeah,
facial structure, same build, same voice and everything, bro. But gay.
yeah,
And there's rules in prison where if somebody gives you something and you don't pay it back, that's your ass. You're
yeah,
either gonna get fucked up or killed for not paying
yeah,
it back.
yeah. That
So I
yeah, that
learned,
is a
in,
major
in
thing.
juvie, not to ever take nothing from anybody unless you can pay it back. So I
Mhm.
decided when I went to prison, I programmed it in my head, I'm not taking anything from anybody, even if I do pay him back. I still ain't doing it because I'm not gonna put myself in that position. But this dude kept leaving shit on my bunk and making like sexual innuendos at me and all that shit. And I'd be in the shower, he'd be whistling at me and just doing some gay activity shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And so it came to a point where I was like, all right, I've had enough. I'm fighting this dude.
yeah.
So at the prison I was at, it's called a DNR camp where they go out and fight fires. But I didn't qualify for that program, so I was the janitor of the unit. Well, he pretended to be sick that day so he could stay at the unit where it was just me and him and the whole unit with the guards.
Yeah.
And I went into the DNR locker room because that's where I had to clean. And he came in and he closed the door and it locked behind him. And when it locks behind you, it alerts the front desk for the staff to come that there's an issue because it's not supposed to
Yeah.
close
Yeah.
unless a guard closes it themselves. So by the time they got there, he's over here and I'm over here and I got the mop in my hand. I'm mopping, just trying to ignore the dude. And he comes up and he pushes me up against the locker. So we start going at it. Everything's going smooth. I'm thinking I'm gonna get this dude. Then he got some kind of fucking ninja tactic or something, bro, and it's got me right in the side of the neck right here.
Yeah.
It did something to where it knocked me off balance, and I hit the locker frontward, not backwards,
Yeah.
and it cracked my forehead open.
Mm.
And when he cracked my forehead open, I was knocked unconscious. By that time, I woke up. I'm in handcuffs. Wake up in the hole. He's in handcuffs. He's in the hole. I'm walking down the thing to go to the infirmary, and all I hear is, "You better not snitch. You better not snitch." And in my head, I'm just like, "Hey, who the fuck you think I am, bro? I ain't no rat, bro.
So
We're
do
gonna
you
finish
think
this somewhere at some point."
so what do you think, man, he was trying to I'm not gonna say it on here, but do you think he was trying to R word you?
Yeah, yeah, definitely, bro. Yep,
And he
yep.
thought he
I
was
think
gonna get off easy and shit.
he didn't think he was gonna get someone who's gonna fight back and defend themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you know, so long story short on that, I went to the hole and they ended up kicking me out and sending me to maximum security to a whole nother prison. And he got to stay there on minimum security because I didn't rat him out. So therefore they had no story. So therefore they couldn't prove nothing other than, yes, there's an altercation, but we don't know who started it,
No
you
who
know,
started it, yeah.
because
Yeah.
there's no camera in that area where we were at. That's why he picked to come in there and do what he did because he knew it wasn't going to be captured on camera.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but so then we're gonna get into prison. That was a camp. Now we're talking about the penitentiary. When I rolled up on that bus and I saw them fences and the yard and all that, I was like, okay, that was easy right there.
Now this
This is
shit
gonna be
real.
difficult.
Yeah, now this shit real
This
now.
shit real. I'm thinking blood in, blood out, American Me. I'm thinking all these movies in my head. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, this now we're talking about bars and shit. You know what I'm saying? Tiers, people getting thrown off of tiers and all that. Well, I get there, and luckily I saw people I knew from middle school that I hadn't seen since middle school.
Mhm.
So I clicked up with them. And the way it works in Washington State is you're segregated in your cells, whites with whites, blacks with blacks, da 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 da. But in the yard, it's everybody for everybody. Whoever you click up with is who you click up with. It's not there's no Aryan Nation Brotherhood. The Bloods ain't with the Bloods. The Crips ain't with the Crips. This
Yeah.
is whoever you're cool with, you're cool with. You know what I'm saying? And then you kind of form your own clique of people. Now, me, I clicked up with one of my boys I knew from middle school, some of his people, and then some new people that I met.
Yeah.
And we happened to all be, Deuce Eights and Crips.
Yeah.
So we just mobbed around the yard. I had to go to school up in there, and I was in school with someone. I kept myself so busy and occupied, I never encountered any type of violence, bro, in there. And
Yeah.
I made it through really smooth.
Did you
I
do any
seen some
classes
shit.
while you was in there? You take up any type of trades or anything while you was in there?
So I went to I did my GED and then I did this thing called it's called MRT, moral recognition therapy. And it's like basically like a class where you got to work with this workbook and you got to take amends for certain things in your life and just talk about your issues and take responsibility, basically.
Yeah.
I did that. And then I went to like chapel on Sundays. I mainly just kicked it in the yard and I didn't have a job in there because I only had a couple months left. 'Cause I did most of my time in the other place.
Yeah.
So I was only
Okay.
in maximum security for, I want to say 7 months.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not
I
long, not long.
no, so I didn't encounter any problems up in there, bro. Not that place, man. I stayed so busy and out the way that yeah, nothing occurred, bro. I mean, I saw a lot of shit though.
Oh yeah.
Definitely saw a lot of shit. I'm like, well, damn, glad that ain't me.
Shit, I know it, man. Hey, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no
Oh,
evil, man. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. But after
And
getting
so,
out
man,
from
that's
there,
so okay, man. We touched on that, man. Going to the pen and everything, bro. How old was you when you got out the penitentiary?
so I was about to turn 21 when I got out.
I turned 21. Okay, okay.
Yeah, because
And so,
I went in I went in when I was about to turn 19. And then I sat in the county for 6 months, and then I went to They got a prison you go to before you go to your main prison. I sat in there for a couple of months.
Like a
Then I got sent
transfer
to that
unit.
camp, and then I went to yeah, transfer unit, the lower R
Yeah.
units, and then I went to the maximum security, got out. But that wasn't the end when I got out, though. That was not the end. So
So so more was it more prison time after you got out? You went back, or you know what I'm saying, or it was just
well,
other things that went on. You know what I'm saying, dealing with the streets and shit.
a little of both. So what happened is I didn't really get adjusted too quickly when I got out of prison, to the point where when I got out of prison, I went back to prison 2 weeks later on a parole violation. So they
Oh,
gave me
okay, okay,
270 275 days and 23 hour lockdown, and no problems no problems there at all. You know what I'm saying? It was just a bunch of knucklehead, like mostly like drug addicts and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I think I was the only crip and the only gangster in the whole damn unit.
yeah,
But I got out from there, and then, just without getting into too much, until I was 24, I was in and out of county all the time. It took me 5 years to get off 3 years probation.
yeah.
Because when you go to jail, your probation stops and starts over when you get out.
Mm-hmm.
So it took
Mm-hmm.
me that time to figure things out, and I got worn out to the point where I actually went to probation to ask for help and say, "Hey,
Yeah,
I'm tired of going to jail. Can you guys put me in community service or something, or keep me busy?" So they put me in community service
yeah.
from 8 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock every single day, Monday through Friday, until I finally made it off probation. And then that's where things kind of transformed, where my life started to change for the better, because I
Start
ended up
transferring better.
moving to California. Yeah, moved to
Okay, okay.
California in 2006, and that transformation was the best thing that ever happened to me, bro.
So
A
moving
lot of
out to
people
Cali,
ask me,
so moving out to Cali in 2006, being a gang member from Washington, you didn't have any run-ins, man, with none of the Cali gangs, man, or did you just not carry yourself as a gang member anymore in California once you moved out to California?
I mean, once you develop a gangster mentality and that's just who you are, that's who you are. You know what I'm saying? You act a certain way, you talk a certain way, you walk a certain way, you dress a certain way. So when I moved here, some questions were asked. I didn't have any problems though, because where I live in Southern California. Where in Southern California, anybody that knows the politics in Southern California,
Yeah,
the biggest gang in Southern California is the Southsiders. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
There's not a lot of Bloods and Crips that live out here unless they're getting out of jail on parole or something. You got to go more
okay,
towards San Diego, LA, all that, for all that type of shit going on. This
yeah,
is South. This is the Southsiders territory right here. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I never had any issues with them. They know what I'm from. They know what I represent. They know I don't and I don't gang bang, and I'm not cripping anymore. But they
yeah,
know I am a crip, and they know that I'm not from here, and that I do have respect for where I'm at. This is not my
yeah,
hood. So therefore,
yeah,
I'm not going to bang my hood where I'm not from, because there's a difference between fear and common sense and respect. You know what I'm saying? I'm not scared to bang out here, but I'm not dumb. I'm only
yeah.
one person versus a whole fucking state. You know what I'm saying?
But
So
we out of that banging era shit anyway, man.
yeah.
Ain't really nobody banging like that no more anyway. Now
No, man,
it's more
it's
so
watered down
clicks.
now, bro.
Yeah, oh yeah, the banging watered down, man. It's been watered down. It's so more clicks now, man, because it's like you got Bloods and Crips in the same clique now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, it's different.
People don't even trip off of colors no more, man. You got Crips wearing red and you got Bloods wearing blue. You know what I mean? So, and then especially
Yeah.
at the age that we at now anyway, man, you gotta be a fucking fool to still be trying to fucking gang bang any fucking way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just so, man, for the people, man, you let the people know, man, how old you are?
44.
Before.
44 years old, man. I made it, man. And that's the beauty of it, man. When I look at my age and everything I've
Yes,
been
sir,
through,
man. Hey, man, we gonna
I
give it up for
survived,
that.
bro.
Yeah, we gonna give it up for that. Yes, sir. Cause ain't too many people that can, say that, bro. Going through shit like that and actually coming up out of it, bro, and able to make a change and turn their life around, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, man, say we're gonna applaud you on that at Work Hard to Start TV for sure. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate it, bro. And hey, bro, I got to salute you too, bro. You know, I've known you going on 12 years, bro. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes, sir.
when you solidify a relationship, it makes you respect that person even more because it's solidified. You know what I mean?
Damn
So
right.
salute to you,
Damn right.
bro. and the
Appreciate it,
game that
bro.
she done giving me, you know what I'm saying? And being a real brother, bro, being loyal.
Yeah,
And
for
I
sure.
appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
And
for sure. And vice versa, man. It worked both ways on my end too, man. And I'm about to get into that right now, bro. About to get into that right now. So, bro, when did you get into the music, bro?
so, okay, so I moved to California in 2006. Didn't know anybody. I had a fresh start. And one of my homegirls hit me up. She's like, "Hey, you ever heard of MySpace?" It's like, "No, what the hell is that?" She like, it's a social media platform on the internet where you can, network with people and make new friends and all that. And I was like, all right, cool. So I signed up. Well, actually, let me back up. First, I had to go buy a computer and then sign up. At that point, I was going to the
Yeah,
library because I never owned any like computers or nothing at that point in my life. You know what I'm saying? I
yeah.
was too busy getting locked up and all that, so I
I
didn't
been
know
say,
about
yeah, missed it
technology.
all. Yeah, missed it all.
Yeah, so I missed the whole cell phone thing and everything, bro. You know,
Yeah,
the flip phones and all that. But so she had me sign up on there. So I signed up on there. And me being from Seattle, Seattle is a grunge state.
uh,
There was still rap. Sir Mix-a-Lot was the only rapper that made it in Washington State, that made it
yeah,
famous.
yeah,
So he put rap music on the map in Washington State, and then everybody wanted to be a rapper after that. So it was more of a rocker grunge state. So I grew up with a lot of my Asian homies and some of their black homies that were rappers. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? And as you know, Tacoma's Finest has been a thing since the '90s. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Before I even came into the picture,
yeah.
they started with 5 people as a rap group and grew into like 35 people. Well, since I knew that music, I was like, "Hey, let me get permission to see if I could put some of the music on MySpace." So I
Uh-huh.
put some of the music on MySpace. Within 3 months, I got 12 million streams on my
Yeah,
MySpace page,
yeah.
and I was like, "Damn, okay,
Boy, I
I need to
remember the
do something with
MySpace
this."
days. I remember the MySpace
Yeah,
days,
man,
bro.
I was like, "I need to get into this, bro. I need to get into this shit." So I was like, "Okay, I need to find a label name." Well, I remember DJ Squeaky being a huge influence on for me. You know what I'm saying? He's one of my favorite DJs back then. And I was like, I want to do Mo Cheddar Records, man, but how do I do it without getting in trouble?
Yeah.
And that's where I had to learn from the older homies about copyrights, which were a lot cheaper back then than they are now. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? It was like $50 to get a copyright
Uh-huh.
back then. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, let me figure out how to do this. Well, he spelled his Mochetta different. So I was like, okay, cool, I can use it. Well, they had
Yeah.
this digital database that you could go on at the courthouse. I don't know how Texas works, but they got a computer you can go on. You can research names
Yeah.
before you fill out paperwork. Boom,
Yeah.
it popped up that it was available. Let me buy that bitch right now. So I bought it. Went back on MySpace, changed my name to Mochetta Records. My boy Rated, the graphics dude,
Yeah.
he started doing all my layouts and all that, making it look real professional. So between the views and the professional look and doing music, my page just started blowing up. So I was like, all right, cool. Now I need to get artists. So what I did was I go through all my friends on there and try to find out which ones are artists, which ones are promoters, which ones are just in music in general, and build a team.
Yeah.
I had you think I'm crazy now, bro? I had 100 motherfuckers on my team back then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I did this mixtape called Killer Cali Underground Mix, and this is when Gucci Man, Yo Gotti, and Soldier Boy and all them were just doing mixtapes. They weren't famous yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was getting free songs from them, building these compilations and all that, and they just started. I started doing mixtapes, and that's when Dat Piff was really booming.
Yeah.
So I started putting stuff on Dat Piff. I was getting thousands and thousands of views, downloads, all that. So it started to pick up. So I was like, okay, I got the copyright and all that. Well, now I need to get an LLC and I need to get everything else in order. So I did all that.
Mhm.
By then, the price went up a little bit. And from there, man, like I had to weed out of those 100 people, who am I keeping? Who do I really fuck with? Who are the solid
Yeah.
people? They're core
Yeah.
of this brand now, this label. So I had to start weeding people, and that's when the hate started. Oh man, fuck that motherfucker, man. He kicked me off the team. Da, 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 all that shit started happening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then,
So what
then I
point so
officially.
so what point did you get into rap music? Had you always been into rap music or did you get into rap
So
music once you started gang banging and shit?
I want to say I was like 11 when I started watching like BET and all that, and watching, Boys in the Hood was my first gangster movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My mom was dating this black bodybuilder dude, and he took us to go see the movie. And my mom was dumbfounded. She's like, "Don't you ever take my son to see a gangbanger movie like that ever again?" And da 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 da.
Yeah.
You know, 'Cause that movie really influenced me in a bad way,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And, like, it made me have very violent thoughts, after old boy got smoked and all that, made me wanna find guns and wanna do the same
yeah,
thing to people, to bully me and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? So it fucked with me a little bit. But no, I
yeah,
I listened to a lot of rock music before that because my brothers and sisters weren't into rap, they were into rock. So I kinda
yeah.
grew up with the rock stuff, plus, like I said before, Seattle was more of a grunge state back then,
Right,
you
right.
know?
Do you remember the first rap song you heard?
Man, let me see. I think it was back then. It was Big Daddy Kane.
Goddamn Big Daddy Kane, man. And I hey,
I don't
and
remember what
look,
song it was though, man. But it's Big Daddy Kane though. Yep,
and
Big Daddy
look,
Kane.
bro, that's how I feel in love, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? How I feel in love with goddamn rap myself, bro. Cause I wanna say Big Daddy Kane was one of the first motherfucking rap songs that I heard, from my older cousin and shit, playing Big Daddy Kane
Yeah,
and
yeah,
shit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Big Daddy Kane,
yeah. I
bro.
think Big Daddy Kane and Run DMC.
Yep, then came Run DMC, man. Those was the times,
Yeah,
bro. Those was the times. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Those was the times. And then, I started, that's what made, me start getting into a lot of the rap music when it started coming up like with KRS-One and all of them, bro. Cause the
hmm
South, the South, we didn't have nobody like that at that time, you know what I'm saying? It was
yeah, yeah, yeah.
mainly all New York rappers, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But then, you know what I'm saying, that West Coast music came, bro. And when that West
Start to hit
Coast shit
different.
came, that shit changed my fucking life. When that West Coast music
Yeah,
hit, bro. Oh yeah, bro. I was on something else, bro. And still to this day, bro, I
yeah. I
still
didn't.
love I still love my West Coast music, even though now in the South, we have a lot of shit in the South now, you know what I'm saying? And we started getting a lot of shit in the South. But I'm still big on West Coast music. I still love my West Coast music, bro. It just does something to me, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah,
guess
yeah,
because I grew up on that shit a lot. I grew up on the West Coast music, bro. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, bro, I still fuck with the Dre, the Snoop, the Cube, like, you know what I'm saying? All that shit, bro. I just love West Coast music. MC8 and Spice One was two of my favorite rappers,
hmm
bro, hands down. Like I loved MC8, Spice One, bro. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. But then, of course, the South, we started making noise, came Scarface, you know what I'm saying? You had Scarface, Ghetto Boys, Outkast, and all them start coming along. So, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
Now I got motherfuckers that's from my region and my area now that I can look up to and listen to as well as that West Coast shit. And, if people tune in, to my music, they can tell, saying they can tell that West Coast raised me, bro, because my shit is a blend of the West Coast and the South put together.
yeah, 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 yeah. No,
But yeah, I feel you on that though, bro. Big Daddy Kane, for sure.
yeah. I didn't get into Southern music until, well, okay. I listened to it, but I didn't get into it until 2000 2009 is when I really
2009.
took the time to download, study, and listen and observe, you know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
it's not that I didn't care for it before hearing it, it's just I also caught up on Seattle's new rap culture and West
Yeah,
Coast shit. That was just my
yeah,
shit, because I'm a
yeah,
diehard Pac
yeah.
and
Pac, yep,
and Bone Thugs fan, you know what I'm saying?
yep, yep.
Don't
Them
get me
them was
wrong,
two of
I
mine
love
too.
Spice One and MCA too. They definitely in
Yeah.
my top 5, but those 2 right there were my influence, bro, especially
Yeah,
Crazy
Pac.
Bone.
Yeah, Pac, I love Pac, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Pac is obviously number one overall, bro. Like, Pac is my favorite
Yeah.
rapper of all times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't see nobody touching Pac, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it, my top five, it's a hard top five, but shit, you know what I'm saying? Hey man,
Yeah.
it's tough because it's other artists out there that could be in my top five too, bro. It's just so hard. But those are like Pac, Scarface, MC8, Spice One, like Bone, Outkast, like bro, the list goes on, but those are my top artists, bro. Like it's hard to get away from those cats, bro. You know what I'm saying?
It is, bro. Yeah. Hey, Berg, though, something I wanted to back up on and touch on, I forgot to touch on, it's actually really important, is so when I was 17, that's when I had my first kid. So I have a 27-year-old son, you know,
Okay, okay, yeah.
and you know, maybe we could touch on that on another interview because that's kind of a longer situation. You know what I'm saying? But I also
Oh, yeah,
have
we'll definitely
two.
yeah. Cause man, cause
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what, bro, that's my bad too, cause I forgot to ask you, you know what I'm saying, if you married, been married, had kids, you know, all of that.
yeah,
But you
yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying,
yeah.
cause man, we definitely gonna get you back, man, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we definitely are dive into that, you know what I'm saying? And we'll dive into a lot more, you know what I'm saying, get more deeper in detail on certain things, you know what I'm saying, we'll come back. You know what I'm saying? I just want to kind of push it along a little bit because we sitting at about 1 hour and 21 minutes now. So I kind of wanted to just
Okay,
push it along, you know what I'm saying, jump into the music. So now we
okay.
know how
So
so now we know how Mo Cheddar got started, right? You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And you know, off of MySpace, you know what I'm saying? You got to start it off of MySpace. You went, you got your LLCs and everything like that, you know what I'm saying? Kick some artist ass off the label and all that. So tell us what came next.